Hello everyone, my name is Quentin Worm. I'm a technical specialist here at ATG, and today I'm going to show you how to customize and create the perfect cabinets for your kitchen and with Casework Configurator. Have you ever wanted to create a custom cabinet but not sure what style and setup you want? Well, Casework Configurator cuts that time in half with just a few clicks. Today we'll learn how to download the casework content for your year model Revit, how to generate your cabinet families, how to add parameters and change instant parameters. First, when we get into Revit, we'll go into the casework admin and I'll show you how to install your content for this. Then after that, we'll go into the actual casework configurator, and there's 7 steps of this, and that's the main case assembly, interior configuration, access style, face panel, pull hardware, parameters, and then the finish. All right, let's get into it. Now you can see I have my kitchen here, and I've already gone and created some custom upper cabinets, and I want to kind of replace my double door base cabinets to give them the same style as my upper cabinets. So to make this easier, I'm going to make a new project. And then up on the CTC software, we'll click that tab and go to the Casework Configurator panel. First, we'll go into the admin so we can download the content. And every time you'll get this pop up to download latest content, and it'll keep popping up until you tell it not to. So I'll just click OK. And so to get your latest content, up here on the top, you'll have download content, and it'll open up a web page with the different year model Revits. And so I have 2020, and so you'll just click 2020 and it'll start downloading in the corner. And then after you have it downloaded, you'll go over to data settings. And when you click this, it'll pop up a little folder. And at the top, this is where you pick wherever you stored your content from when you downloaded. And so mine's just under my CTC folder. Go to Casework Configurator, Content 2020, or if you just downloaded it, it'll be under your downloads, Casework Content 2020, and then you'll just click the content, click OK, and then it'll add your location there. And then once you have that downloaded and set in your data settings, it will auto-populate like mine. And I don't remember if you have to close all this out and reopen your Revit or if it auto-populates. But if you ever have any problems or need help, we have our videos and support. If you click videos, it'll just open up a web page to our CTC videos and webinars on it. All right, now that we have that done, to get started, we'll go to the Casework Configurator. We'll open it. I believe the Casework Configurator is part of the paid subscription of the CTC software. I don't believe it's a free add-in. All right, we'll go into create our casework. Now you can see that we have several varieties that we can pick from. We can go with the upper cabinets, a wardrobe cabinet for closets, tall cabinets for like a desk. Then you have your regular base cabinet and like a cart storage. We'll just go with the base cabinet. And now that I have it selected, you can either click the next button, click the next step, or just double click your option that you're picking. And now we have more options as well. And I'm just going to stick with a single shelf base cabinet. And this time I'm going to click next to go to the next option. And now you can see you have your different faces. So you can go with the single door, you can have drawers, the double door. This time I'm just going to go with the double doors. As well for the actual door panels. Now the ones I already have in my model are this full glass panel, but as you can see that I changed the glass to be just a regular panel instead of the glass. Now we get to pick from our different styles. I'm going to choose the decorative pull style 2. And now we get into the parameters. Since mine is a double base, I'm going to change the 2 foot to 3 foot. I'm going to change the hardware offset from 2-inch. Well, we'll have to change that later. The only main ones you can change right now are the main case assembly. And I don't really need to mess with any of this. All this is pretty standard. And then we'll just go to finish. And I like to change the assembly name to what I'm doing. So I'm going to go with double door. And then I like to clean this up and just leave the whatever swing I'm doing. So I'm just going to leave it double swing and delete the rest. And finish, and that is all you have to create a simple base cabinet for your model. Just 7 easy steps. I'm going to place that in there. Go to a 3D model of it. We'll change this up. Actually see the details. As you can see, I need to change the hardware offset. So I'm going to change that from 3 to 1.5. And now I need to change up some of this. I don't like how it has the no gap between the 2 doors because that's just not plausible. You can't open cabinets without a gap. And you can see on my uppers I've already gone through and placed those in. So I'm going to change that up. We'll just select it, edit family. Now with the Casework Configurator, we have multiple layers of this. As you can see, the doors are its own family again, so we'll have to go into that one. We'll go to the front view. And now I can actually start changing up and adding in the front gap that I want. So I'm going to copy over some grid lines. Put them at 7/8 so that I have a 1/4 inch gap in between the two. Now that I have that, I'm going to create a parameter for it, call it door gap. Make it 1/8. Now I'm going to select the two dimensions, come up to the label, and change it to my door gap. And that was the easy part. Now in order to get this, I can't just move it over the 1/8 because then it will stick out past my 3 foot. So I'm going to have to go into this single panel and customize it even more. So first I'm going to copy over the edge grid line 1/8 inch. I'm going to lock that in. And now this is actually a sweep, so I have to go into the sweep settings and change that as well. Go into edit path, move this over the 1/8, remove that constraint, add that back. Now you can see that I have that gap in there ready, but then I also have to come back and move the top and bottom because they're a separate sweep. So edit sketch. Move that restraint and add it to my new 1/8 line. Finish that. So now we have it all set up with my 1-inch gap, and I'm going to load that back into my base doors. Overwrite that. So now you see it's back on my 3 foot line, but also pulled over to my 1-inch gap. And so now I just have to move the left door. Remove restraint, lock that in. And so now that's all in place. And if I change the width, it won't affect it. It all stays with that 1-inch gap or 1/8 gap. Now I'm going to load that back into my double door. Override existing. And so now I have my 1/8 door gap. But now I don't want to see inside of my base cabinet for when I do my high renders. So I'm going to have to shrink back this single shelf. So I'm going to edit the family. And they actually added model lines in, so I'm just going to delete those. I'm going to copy this back 3/4, so 2 1/4 from that is my 3/4. Now I'm going to drag my shelf back, remove constraint, and then lock it in. Load that back in. And now I have my gap for my center pillar to go. So now I'm just going to create extrusion. First I need to create a 3/4 grid line. Now I'll go back to create. I'm going to make it basically the size of a 2x1. lock those into place so whenever I change the depth, it stays the same. Gotta lock in my 3/4 for the 1.5 inch. Now that I have all that set, we'll create it. Come back here to adjust the height. We'll go just to the top. And this one's gonna go just to the top face of the bottom. Now that I have all that set up, we'll load this back into the project I created. Override. So now I have this new fancy base with my door gap, and I'm just gonna copy this into my model. So all I have to do now is just switch this out for the new double door. Come and move that back to place. Now I just need to come in and make the materials the same. Change that to my cabinet panels. Now the front faces like to be difficult, so we'll have to go back into them. This one is easy because I can just change it to the base material. But for these, we'll have to go back into the families quite a bit and then add it in. So mine's just a regular finish medium grade trim. Add that in. And now I don't want my glass panel to be glass, so I'm going to change it from the glazing material over to the panel finish. So now that creates into my medium gray base cabinet. We'll have to load this all the way back in through the base cabinet and then load that back into the house. And so now it matches. I'm gonna switch this one out with the new double. Go in and move it back to place. And now I have my new base cabinets matching my upper cabinets through Casework Configurator. All it takes is a little bit of editing the family type and just moving it out. And then now here is a fancy 3D render version of it. We'll go into the kitchen. Now we have the new base cabinets matching the new upper cabinets. Make it more realistic with our door gap. And that's how you can make your perfect kitchen cabinet with Casework Configurator. We don't have any questions. Appreciate everybody's time. Thank you for joining, and I hope you learned something. Have a nice day.